On a warm summer evening, on a train bound for nowhere, met up with a gambler who just so happened to have a box cutter with him.
Yeah, pretty sure Gail didn't know that one.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Adam, and I'm joined with Terry, and this is the almost sideshow. I've messed up my entrance, but this is the breaking down of Breaking Bad. Yes, there it
Breaking
is.
Bad.
Well done once again, having a visual gag on the audio medium.
Again, that's why I'm here, folks.
That's why he's here.
That's why I'm here, folks.
Yay!
You know what else? Why? You know why? You know. Do you know why we're here? Also, God dang it! It's season 4 of Breaking Bad, folks. I'm really excited. I don't know what we're talking about. I've confused myself now.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
This is true, but I'm really excited. Breaking Bad season 4. Just do the hit me with the Breaking Bad again.
Breakdown of Breaking Bad.
Yes. All right. We're this is episode called Boxcutter. Knives are sharp, ladies and gentlemen. They're sharp.
Tight, yeah.
Yes.
That's what this opening is.
Tight, yeah.
Well done, Adam. Well done.
Want to dump into it?
Oh, we're having fun. Yeah. All right. We finished up season 3. We're on to season 4. Season 4, I mean, gets off to a bang, right? Like, this is like, like we talked about, the season 3 finale was the fallout to the episode before, and now season 4 opener is the fallout to the fallout in a way that no other season has really done up to this point. So yeah, let's just hop into it. Let's do this.
Do this thing.
Season 4, episode 1 is entitled Boxcutter. All right, here we go. Gail is dead. Jesse did it. Walt ordered it. And Gail caused it? I mean, he is the one that talked Gus into hiring Walt.
It's
anyways,
99% pure.
Victor shows up to check the damage, finds Jesse still in the parking lot, and forces him to the lab to await Gus's wrath. Walt feels comfortable since no one else knows the formula. But Victor does? He begins a cook on his own and knows every step along the way, even the aluminum. Meanwhile, Skylar wakes up and notices Walt's car is still in the driveway, leaving a visiting Marie impressed with some stickman status. Skylar is just concerned. She moves his car a few blocks away to avoid questions. She calls Saul, who's busy scanning his office for bugs, and she has a locksmith break into Walt's condo for her. No signs of Walt. Marie, after approving of a Walt slumber party, goes home to a grumpy Hank with a new hobby. Minerals. Physical training or physical therapy is going well, but Hank refuses to see the progress.
It's breaking new ground.
Now, yeah, he's breaking new ground. We have 20 steps in 15 minutes. Now, Gus arrives at the lab. He says nothing. Walt tries to reason with him, saying he will choose him and Jesse over everything. Gus says nothing. Walt says that Victor doesn't know how to cook. Gus says nothing. While suiting up in a hazmat suit, he finds the titular box cutter and says nothing. As Walt pleads for his life, Gus slits the throat of Victor? He bleeds out and dies at their feet. Everyone, especially Mike, is shocked. Gus calmly gets changed back into his suit, starts to walk towards the door, and finally speaks. Get back to work. They keep Victor's cook going while putting Victor in a barrel with some acid. When done, Walt and Jesse get some breakfast where Walt assesses the situation. Gus needs us for now. He will find someone else eventually. We just bought some time, and Gus will make that time a living nightmare for us. Walt goes home and gets his car. Oh, one last problem. Investigators are going through Gale's house, where his lab book and notes sit. Adam.
Yeah, yes, we're back, and we're back in it. This last week is, it seems like it's been a lot longer. It feels like we've taken another week off, even though we haven't taken any breaks. We're continuing the cycle of our weekly episodic episodes of the podcast, and
We couldn't take another break. We couldn't do it.
No, never again. That we are the LVPs for doing that way back when. I don't even know.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna
do it. We're doing it. But this was a fun episode. Way to kick off this season right away. Moments within moments of the ending of the last season. It was awesome to see the terror and just the emotional roller coaster that Jesse went on in the very few early moments of the episode, and seeing him not talk really until they get to America's Institution, Denny's, at the very end of the episode. I wonder if Judy was on the clock, but really, this is a fun, full episode. Like that was way bloodier than I was anticipating. I was not expecting. Victor is a really awesome character in this episode. He definitely has the most to do, and also not to do at the same time, or not to do anymore. Gus is terrifying, and Walt ends up looking very weak in the end of things, because don't get that blood on your hands that much. But yeah, this was a really fascinating episode, and a lot of interesting moving parts, and can't wait to dive into it.
Yeah, this episode, you look at the other seasons, especially season 2 into season 3, you had season 2 go out with this bang, quite literally, right? The bang of the planes crashing together. And season 3 was kind of let's come back down and let's settle into what we're going to be doing this season, right?
This one starts off.
Season 2, it kind of did the same thing, right? A little bit different because you saw all the Tuco stuff still needing to be resolved. But this one, season 3 goes out with 2 just top-notch episodes where everything is happening, and season 4 starts with cranking it up another notch and tripling down on how you finished the last season, and now you're into season 4, and it's like there's no drop in, right? There's no settling in. It's just going up. And now you just raise the bar on the intensity of everything moving forward, because you started season 4 here. You ended season 3 down here, and now season 4 went up again. And so now we're just going to spend the whole season there. I disagree a little bit. You said Walt looked pretty weak at the end of it. I think Walt looks pretty great because he's playing chess, and he won. He just put Gus in check. He's like, I won this battle, and the war can continue.
Well,
right?
When I said weak, I just thought how he was kind of cowering in fear of the dead, the Victor.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by that. But it could also be psychological too. I'm gonna do this, and kind of because it's a horrific thing that he just witnessed. But Jesse was he was pissed, and that was 2 different reactions from the 2 different characters. Jesse was definitely pissed, and you had Walt kind of in a way just couldn't look at it. Yeah, that's what I mean by the weakness.
I think Walt's finally realizing just what he's dealing with Gus.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
and like you said, Gus is maniacal in this, and Walt is finally realizing the stakes of playing Gus's game, and no one is safe. Victor was as entrenched as anybody in this, and he wasn't even safe. So, man, there's just so much. All right, we're already talking about it. My best scene is Gus showing up. Right, the few minutes of Gus we actually get on screen in this episode, it's we're
Good one
waiting
line.
for that moment the entire episode, right? Because Walt is sitting there with Mike, waiting for Gus. Then Victor and Jesse show up, and they're sitting there waiting for Gus. Like the entire episode is waiting for Gus. What's Gus gonna do? What's gonna be his reaction to what just happened? And when we get it, it's not what anyone expects, and the coldness that he can have in that moment of, I'm gonna walk in as calm as possible, obviously pissed, but I'm calm. I'm gonna calmly change into out of my business clothes and into the suit. I'm gonna calmly slit the throat of one of my most trusted employees that is one of the only people that knows the ins and outs of everything. And then I'm going to calmly get out of it and wash my hands and put my business suit back on and walk out the door. Just like nothing had happened. And just, yeah. I mean, like I said, Walt is finally playing Gus's game, but I think he's starting to question if he wants to play Gus's game, because he's seeing what he's actually dealing with by playing with Gus. Like he took his full measure, and he's just hoping he's not on the wrong side of things.
Well, he said an extreme measure now.
It was an extreme measure. It was an extreme measure. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that scene. I don't know what you have as best scene, but I mean, this is the crux of the whole episode is this scene, right?
That was in the running. My favorite scene is season 1 callback. We're gonna do hydrofluoric acid in the right container this time, and
not a bathtub.
Not the bathtub. My wife's like, "What are they doing? Want to dissolve?" Like, no, you haven't seen that episode, but it's a throwback to like.
Gotta get the right kind of plastic.
Yeah, you have the right kind of container. And Mike's like, "I've never worked with this stuff before. I'm sure this is gonna work." And this could be the dumbest line, just because of the look that Walt gives. He's like, "Yeah, trust us." Like, yeah, we've done this before.
It will eat through pretty much anything except this rubber container or this plastic container.
Oh, it was great. That was just a fun callback. The whole, including Mike, and Mike was fabric. What's the word? He was just annoyed. He's like, "I have to go help you out to pick this dead guy up." My thought process was they're putting in the body in way wrong. I think put the head in first, and then you can bend the legs around to get it in there. But oh well.
It almost looked like we were back to watching Walt and Jesse try to rob the barrel. Yeah. It's a barrel. Roll it.
Yeah. Come on, morons. That's what Mike thought. He's like, "Oh my, let me help you pick this up."
Yeah, having that callback and actually working the way it's supposed to this time. Yeah, that was that nothing was going through that. What was the line back? It's like it'll eat through this and this and this. So yeah, there's that. That's good too. But again, it's kind of just a continuation.
It's just it's a snowball effect, because everything is really tied into it. The only stuff that you could take away from it, these connected scenes, are the Skylar stuff and the Hank and Marie stuff. That's the only thing it's like they have to throw those in there because we didn't get those characters in the finale. So you have to throw them and say, "Hey, what are these people doing now?" But you basically take those, you have to sprinkle those into the episode, but we're really focusing on the aftermath of the Gale stuff. And seeing Gale at the very beginning is another thing we should talk about, because when they introduce the Boxcutter and introducing this lab, and it's going to Gale, that Walt was not even a thought to be in this. Gale was doing his research on what this blue thing is, and it is 99 or more. He said 99 or more pure, and he has no idea how to get the blue stuff. And this does not make Gale looks really strong coming out of the finale, even though he's dead. But this even improves what Gale has done in the show, even though I feel like before the finale I didn't really care, and I thought he was just kind of going to double cross stuff, and I kind of was maybe reading between the lines and seeing where they were going with that character. But
Mhm.
now seeing like, no, he was he wanted to research this guy, and I think him and Walt could actually have been real in like genuinely good friends and actually great partners. But there's the thing called Gus in the way, and you can't do that. You can't double cross him, and so it was always going to be Gale at number one. And that essentially what my kind of thought process what Gale was actually at was correct. However, he wasn't as like quote unquote evil as I thought. He was just he was a good, caring guy who basically was doing this field this for the same reasons as Walt, for the love of science, essentially. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, if Walt could do what he did without Breaking Bad, he'd be Gale.
Hmm.
Like that's kind of if he could have done it without any ego, without any of that seeping its way in, he'd be Gale at this point. Like him and Gale would be best buds and partners and doing this whole thing together. Then again, if Walt could have approached any of thing that's happened so far without any ego, he would have taken Gretchen and Elliot's money, and none of this would have ever happened. So there's that side of it too. Um, but yeah, like you're right. There's a reason that first episode that Gale shows up, they hit it off so well because they're the same person. They approach things the
Nerds.
same way. Yes, I am a nerd. That's like the line of the show so far. Um, I love that the coffee maker is still around. It's still producing some amazing brew. Mike partakes of some at one point. Um, yeah, that's it's such a great scene. And the only reason a box cutter's in there is because of Gale. And something Gale left in the lab is what ends, you know, this cycle of what are we going to do with the fallout to Gale. It's just kind of it's poetic.
Can you remind me how did? Oh, never mind. I figured it out. Mike picked up Walt from the house.
Mike picked up Walt, or no, Victor. Victor picked up
That's what
Walt.
it was. Yeah, one of them got picked up from the house. I was like, how did
Mhm.
that car actually get there? That's where I was like, I don't remember him dropping it off, but he was already there.
Yep.
So that's right. So we're good.
He was gonna go take care of Gale, and on his way to the car, Victor
Just had to
pulled
do it.
off.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right. The Ken wins Bogdan douchebag award goes to
The bogged. Like, it's gonna be Hank here. We got to mention Hank, because he is. He's annoyed. Not in the hospital bed. The bed. He's at home doing. He's not killing rock. He's collecting rocks, or minerals.
breathe their minerals.
Yeah, the minerals. He's unshaven. He's looking very unhank. But at the same time,
Pooping in a bedpan.
yeah, he's like, I got less shit in my pants than I did yesterday. Or whatever. Yeah, kind of being a dick to Marie.
Progress.
Yeah, there is progress. He broke new ground, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah. Hank is really like he's struggling. He's struggling through all this. And yeah. And when you're having those struggles, you take it out on
The ones
whoever you can. And right now the only person you can take it out on is Marie. So she's taking the brunt of all of it.
Especially the ones that are like the closest to you, the ones that, like, yeah, I'm kind of being a dick to you, but I know that you'll forgive me.
Well, and even there, she even takes that moment before she gets out of the car of just, okay, I can do this because I have to be overly positive to try and show Hank, that it's okay to be positive right now.
That's what's funny with that one scene. Like, so my wife's been watching it with us now, with me weekly now too, getting back into it, and that's the one thing she took away. She's like, she prepared herself before she walked in that house. Like, and I didn't pick up on that quite as much as she did, but she prepared herself. Like, you could tell, and that was a really like cool little insight. And just made that scene just a little bit more. Marie has just been like on like this is like peak Marie right now. I hope we continue with this trajectory. Even though I don't think she's like a minor, she's like on the fringe of being not being a minor character anymore because she is getting, she's in almost every episode now, but she doesn't have that prominent role of the Skylar yet. So, but she's still just really good. She's becoming a better and better character now. I'm glad we're getting out of her like I'm stealing tiaras. Like I'm glad we're getting out of that era of Marie.
Well, and you could tell like the last thing she wanted to do was go back in that house, but she had to, and so she had to give herself a moment of it's time to do this. It's time to prepare myself so I can be what I need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The Pink Man Stickman Award goes to.
Well, the only thing that got it in was this box cutter.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You got it in.
Might be true, but
Blue, but it's the bomb.
No, it wasn't blue. It
wasn't blue. It was green. It was green, Jesse.
Yeah, it was green.
But it did get it in. My Pink Man Stickman is Walt's car. Because Walt didn't get it in, but Walt's car. I mean, just its appearance.
Well, an Aztec, really? A green Aztec?
Little howdy do to Mr. I'm Not Here. I mean, that car has seen some action, though. Like, we had action earlier on. So, I mean, it's not unheard of, so. But yeah, or like the absence of Walt, even though he's supposed to be there, but we weren't there. That's a Vantage Point reference.
Rewind that.
Yeah, that's what I had down. The best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo of the episode. I think there's only one person this could possibly go to.
Lavelle Crawford, the bodyguard. Yeah.
Yep.
His name is Huel Babineau.
Huel. Yep.
Huel. Mm-hmm. Okay. I had to go on the old IMDb. He's on some classic films. Pinot nominated movie. He was on The Count of Three for best adapted screenplay. He was Pinot nominated, and he was also on one of our other fellow contributor of the podcast, Zach's one of his favorite movies, Home Team. He was Gus the bus driver. That Kevin James football movie.
I remember that. I
don't remember that either, but that's his two prominent roles that he was in. So
yeah,
I'm assuming we're going to get more of this guy. We'll see how that pans out for Saul.
We're
close.
I will say it's not the only time we see Huel. Just simply for the fact that we know his name is Huel, and that was never brought up in this episode. He's got to pop back up at least one more time.
Yeah, when you go into the Breaking Bad wiki to try to see what the air date. Oh, I forgot to mention this episode did air July 11th, 2011. So 7/11. Anyway, so pretty cool. Anyway,
they should have gone to 7-Eleven instead of Denny's.
Yeah,
missed opportunity. Yeah, no, he's pretty awesome. He's sitting there, just his sheer presence is intimidating because he's a gigantic person. And then he's sitting there falling asleep. It's like, well, I mean, when you're that big and you can scare people away just by standing at the door, then you can do that. I mean, it's possible to do that. All right, the Gomi Minor character of the episode.
You kick that one off. Go ahead.
It's Victor.
Yeah, it's Victor. He take a charge to cook.
It's got all dead eyes.
Yeah.
He
took the recipe.
He took a while to warm up to. Like, he was just always kind of there. Do you remember the first time we saw Victor?
Yeah, he came in into the lab at some point. No. Was it before this?
The first time we saw Victor was the second to last episode of season 2. Showing up at Pueblos Hermanos to tell Walt where the drop was going to be of their inventory and to get the money. And that's when he had to break in. That's when he had to break into Jesse's house and get it all while him and Jane were high in bed, and then he had to miss
The birth of his
the
child.
birth. Yeah, it was Victor who walked in and just gave him a quick this much for this much in an hour at this point. Are you in? And that was it. Like, and that was Victor. And he's kind of been the gopher ever since. He's been the point man at the laundromat and in the lab, and he's like, it's up until like the last couple episodes that we even knew his name really. Up until then, it's just Deadeyes, and now it's Victor, and he had an awesome episode.
He did,
and then it ends, and it's his last
Abruptly.
episode, right?
Yeah, abruptly. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Victor. That's the best character.
Where's that container going on that truck?
I don't know. It's got a radioactive sticker on it, so hazardous material.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's not a bad shout. I gotta come up with something different though. Saul's secretary again coming up clutch with some of the deadpan humor. Just kind of like reading her magazine and just like staring at the security guard, and then Saul, Skylar White is on the line. Saul, Skylar White.
What the hell does she want?
Yeah. She's on the phone. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
That is a good one.
I thought for a second the security guard, even though he was like falling asleep, I thought he was trying to make him like, was he like giving her the like, hey eyes to the secretary, because she's reading that magazine in like full like low cut blouse shirt, but then I was like, no, he's not interested in that. He's trying to sleep. At first, that's where my head went.
You definitely get okay. Is he giving the come hither sexy eyes? No, he's giving the lazy.
I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, falling asleep. I know that look. I have that look often.
I've done that. Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't watch stuff. I can't watch stuff like sitting on a couch or a bed. I have to sit on a chair because I might fall asleep. So I have to sit at the desk while watching the episode, because if I sit on the bed, I'm gonna fall asleep during it. It's
second my legs are up.
Yeah,
I'm just like it's inevitable. I'm gonna fall asleep. Yeah. Like, I have to sit. I can't lounge. I can't relax.
We've talked ourselves into a midlife crisis moment.
I was just gonna say that. I think we found the midlife crisis moment, and it's just the entire vibe Huel is giving off in this episode. That's the midlife crisis moment.
Yeah, followed shortly by leaving like tags on shirts. I think that's another one.
Hashtag rather be sleeping.
Yeah.
The cowhouse dumbest thing said of the episode.
Well, I thought it was. I wrote it down, but it's not a dumb thing. I thought when Victor said, "We ain't missing no cook," and then he actually, I'm like, wait a second, that's actually not a dumb thing said anymore, because he's actually following it. So
he actually knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. A big howdy do to Mr. I'm not here. That's a pretty funny the line delivery. But I think the one, because the grounds of this category is like the thing that exasperates Walt. And Walt has exasperated himself this time. This guy's going to forget the aluminum. Yeah, he's going to forget the aluminum.
It's the aluminum.
He got the aluminum. It's like, you got
look at me. Aluminum. I don't know what I'm
doing. Yeah. So it's great.
That's a good call. That was one of the things I had written down. The other thing I had written down wasn't a dumbest thing said, but it might have been the dumbest thing done. They go to Denny's, and Jesse pours salt on his bacon. Who
did not catch that?
Who needs more salt on their bacon?
He doesn't have enough sodium.
Apparently, a 23-year-old, pothead. This bacon isn't salty enough, yo.
Yeah. Doesn't have the high blood pressure yet. Can't lay off the salt. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any problems? Anything outdated here?
So I got a couple
I've got
things.
one problem, but you can go.
Go. I got one outdated thing.
Okay.
Vio laptops. I don't think Vio
Mm.
laptops. That's what Hank did.
Very distinct logo that is, for the most part, defunct. I don't remember the last time I've seen a Vio anything.
Yeah. So that's the one thing okay. So my one flaw, or I have four flaws actually. The one that I was really bugging me. There was some line delivery stuff and it makes sense, but the one thing that was like, what's up with Walt's goatee? In the whole scene in the lab, his goatee looks like it's actually not like grown, it's like just placed on his face.
Mm.
Like it was like noticeably like annoying to me. I'm like, your goatee just looks like your goatee looks like you've been growing it for a while. His looked like it was just placed on his face because it has like a distinct, like it sticks out a little too much and it looks fake. Like it annoyed me. So the whole time when he's talking to like Gus, I was like, "It's a fake goatee. I'm writing this down."
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. It just caught. Maybe I'm the only one who ever thought that, but it looked weird. Just kind of like that one episode when Skylar goes and delivers the divorce papers. Her eyes looked very weird in that one scene. For me, whatever. I don't know how. Maybe it was just shot weird or shot differently, and it just didn't work for me. So anyway,
Interesting. All right. The one I like, or the for problems, the one I was thinking of is, okay. Victor left his car at the scene.
yeah, that's another thing too.
Like-
Didn't think about
Like
that.
how dumb. I like it's. Is it a? I don't know if it's a flaw or not, but I mean, how dumb are you? Yeah, you found Jesse. You've got to deliver Jesse. Yes, but you left your car, right? And
Was it their car? Well, did they take? Oh no, they said drive. Yeah, it was Jesse's car.
he
Dumb.
got in Jesse's car, and Jesse drove to the laundromat.
Well,
So-
he did some stupid. He had a great moment, but there's also like two glaring things he did wrong. Like he showed his face to the neighbors, who apparently did not know Gail.
Yeah,
Well, at least that
Yeah.
well. And then the car thing. That's a great call. I didn't think about that. Well, didn't think about that until you started talking. I was like, yeah, that's right.
Well, and I mean, it ultimately leads to the whole reason it ends the way it does, is because, I mean, Gus doesn't just kill him to make a point. Gus kills him because he became the loose end. He let his face be seen. He went to the scene of the crime, walked in, everyone saw him, and then he left his car behind.
I didn't even think of that layer. If that's why he also could have got himself killed. I thought it was like legit, like what Jesse was saying. But at the same time, yeah, that's another reason you have to cut the loose end off because
It has to be, right? Like that's the only thing that makes sense. Gus doesn't, like I said, this is the most trusted employee outside of Mike that we've seen Gus have is Victor. Why would he just slit his throat for nothing? There's got to be something else to it. Like what did Walt, or what did Mike say? The first thing he said was, "Did you get seen?" And he's like, "Yeah. So what?" And it's like, so what? I mean, these people don't know who you are, and you just walked into the crime scene. Oh, did you know that guy? I mean,
and then left.
and then left his car. There's gonna be questions being asked about that. There has to be.
There's gonna be fallout,
Right?
to it.
And so it's like he sealed his fate when that happened.
Yeah. So another thing that, well, going back to what Victor said too. He said, Mike said, "So did he do it?" He's like, "He splattered all over. There was one gunshot. Well, there was hardly any blood. What was
That
splattered
hit
all
the
over?"
teapot too. Like that was a cool teapot.
This is an LVP for me too. I was like, why is the teapot? Why is there like is that a steam hole? Why did it? Oh yeah, duh. Well, it's the freaking bullet. I don't know why I thought I don't know what I was thinking. That's splattered all Gale one shot. Yeah, it was hardly any blood. I don't know why that line. Why did he say splattered all over? Makes no sense. Saul Goodman and Associates. The secretary answers the phone. Says, Saul Goodman and who are the associates? That's who I want to know.
It's Saul. It just sounds better that way.
Yeah, that's true. His Aztec car would have been towed. It was sitting in somebody's house. Granted, it was public
Yeah, it's
road.
just public road. No,
But if they don't it could be like none of these people know
it
who
was
that
only a
car
couple
is.
hours.
Yeah, but it could eventually get tagged. I don't know. It could tag. That's kind of the
Eventually,
things I had
maybe.
thought. Yeah, that's the things I kind of had put down.
Okay, I can see that. All right, midlife crisis moment. Besides falling asleep, sitting down.
Oh, I had the tags. I mentioned the tags.
Oh, the tags on the shirt.
Yeah.
The other thing I had was looky loos.
Mm.
Like there was quite the crowd of people in front of that doorway, and I mean, I don't know about you. I can't help it. I'm a rubbernecker. Like when I'm in traffic, I'm in traffic. There's an accident. You're passing by. It's like all the way up there. It's like, why are people slowing down? Why is there all this traffic? Come on, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. And I'm just a little slow as I pass by. And whoa, look at that accident that just happened. Wow. Okay,
really
now I can keep driving. And I'm the reason for the traffic jam. Like people like me are the reason, but I have to check, right?
Yeah.
You gotta look.
Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Good call. Yeah, those neighbors.
Just another looky loo. That was the other thing I was gonna put as my banner. It was just another looky loo. But yeah. All right, LVP.
Gail's neighbors. I honestly had Gail's neighbors actually. So I wanted to talk about these people. That guy is goes to the Jesse's not really good at like giving directions, like people. Like that guy is not really good at directions. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, you want to go by this other place, and it's down here, and I'll be here, yeah." And then everybody else starts coming out, and like, yeah.
There's potentially another flaw. I mean, he's talking to the police. All they need is the address. They're the police.
That's true. So
I mean, maybe it's outdated because navigation wasn't a thing yet. But there's the police. They know where to go. They don't need directions.
This could be a very good like convenience too, because those neighbors like, oh, did you know Gail? They don't know Gail themselves, so that could be one of like that. Victor could be one of their neighbors. They don't know. Like they
never said Gail. They said, "Did you know him?"
Yeah, they don't know Gail, but they probably didn't even know Victor. Victor could be a looky-loo that just like, oh, I'm gonna go. Nope, okay, I don't want to see this anymore. See ya.
But he's the only one that like dared to walk in.
That is
so. Yeah. All right, my LVP is 96%. And I'm proud of that number. You shouldn't be proud of that number, obviously, because someone beat you out pretty badly.
Yeah, very pure.
It doesn't seem like much, but it's huge. It is a huge gap.
It's a huge gap.
I don't consider him a professional. Well, then I don't know what I am. But yeah, 96%. That's my LVP. MVP, I've already kind of mentioned it. My MVP is Walt, because he stepped up. He's playing Walt's game, or he's playing Gus's game, and he won the battle. Now, what's the war going to turn into? Well, that's a whole nother question. But he showed Gus he can win a battle. He bested Gus. He bested Mike. Mike was pissed that he got bested, but he bested him. So where's it going to go?
Good call. I like it. MVP for me is hydrofolic acid. We got to actually see this actual like scene play out. The bathtub scene is more visually thrilling and engaging, but at the same time, it's like, oh, we get to see the actual thing. So it does play into Walt being the MVP as well. Just having the right barrel at the right time. It's what it comes down to.
I have another fault.
Uh-oh.
Why is there that much hydrofolic acid in that lab? Like, is it like a part of the process of cooking meth?
Point.
If not, why do they have an entire shelf full of gallon jugs of hydrofolic acid?
Yes, they definitely have a plethora.
Just in case we need to disintegrate a body, we're going to keep the 50 gallons of hydrofolic acid in the lab. That doesn't make any sense.
True. Good point. Good point. Touche.
I mean, but maybe, maybe it's one of those, any good chemistry lab has, 50 gallons of hydrofolic acid. That might be true. I honestly don't know. Like, who knows when you'll need to have something that will eat through anything but a certain plastic
Plastic, yeah.
that only comes in barrels and Rubbermaid containers that are too small for a body, even Jesse's tiny body. Okay, we're going to talk about what's next in a second, but let's update us. Everything remains unchanged. The Walter White body count remains at 1 Emilio, 1 Crazy 8, 1 car, 1 custodian's career, 1 Tuco hideout, 1 lock, 1 uneaten burrito, 1 paper towel holder, rot, 1 back door to Jesse's house, 1 love of Jesse's life, a few burned $100 bills, 1 pepperoni pizza, 1 career in education, 1 meth making RV, 1 beginning of a galeful friendship, 1 fly, 2 kid killing drug dealers, and 1 Gail Bedecker. And the Jesse ass kick count remains at 8, which means after 34 episodes, he gets his ass kicked once every 4.25 episodes. It's been a little while. It's been since about halfway through season 3 when Hank showed up on his doorstep. So I think Jesse's due for a beating here soon. How, I don't know, but it's got to be coming up at some point. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen next?
Netflix tricked me because when you push on season 4, the first image you see is Jesse with a black eye. It was sitting next to Walt. I was like, oh, he's going to get his butt kicked this episode. I pushed play. Never happened. So Netflix and LVP for your teasing shots that don't actually happen. Anyway, what's happening next? They cook. And they cook some more. What actually does happen? I think there's going to be a way that, like, there's going to be some kind of power struggle between. There's got to be, like, how are they going to get out of this Gus situation? I think I'm interested to see what happens with the Gus and the dynamic and what are they going to put them through. What's happening with Jesse's girlfriend? It's another thing we didn't. That's the one other character we really didn't see in this episode. Was her? Are they still together? I'm assuming so because it hasn't been too long. What's actually going to happen with her? And where the heck's Badger and Pete? Brandon and Peter.
Brandon, Peter.
Yeah. Will they get more donuts? Only time will tell.
What
on that
step
part.
are they on?
Yeah, what step are they on? Trace, bro. Come on, Trace.
Catching up.
Yeah, catching up. And then I want to see how Mike kind of deals with, because he was definitely shocked that Victor got killed. So, and are they going to buy this car wash as well? Oh, thought of another thing right now. So Saul used a payphone talking to Skylar, right?
Yes.
He thinks it's bugged. So he's using a rag. Was it because of germs, or was it to cover his his fingerprints? Because he clearly
it's got to be fingerprints.
But he had the receiver in his hand with the finger touching it. I don't know, but
maybe it's germs. That's a good question. I don't know.
But he put it to his ear. I don't know. Whatever. We're looking too much into it. We're moving on. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking that. I want to see if they. I want to see how his office looks all tore up eventually too with Saul. So who knows what we get in there. But yeah, I'm really excited for this season because the stuff's about to go down, I feel. And now we're at the point of no return.
Just get up another notch. Yeah, past the point of no return. What's the fallout going to be? Kind of have a feeling the whole season will be a fallout.
Pretty much. It's definitely gonna be a more like a power struggle game because you got Hank. No, Hank is going to come back at some point. I know that too. But what I meant to say was Walter and Gus are going to have a power struggle. Walter, yeah. But anyway, really excited for the season. And I hope you are as well. Terry, close it out.
Breakdown of Breaking Bad.
Hey. All right, here we go. Sit and spin.
We're back, baby. We're back.
I love it. Love it.